More than $50,000 on the line. A couple of guys who will be racing high speeds at Belle Isle. Helio Castroneves, Will Power join us in studio. Gentlemen, thanks for your time. We appreciate it very much. Will, you're a guy who is on a major role. You're a guy who is maybe not as many people know your name as Helio Castroneves because of his Indy Car racing wins, but a guy who seems to enjoy the track at Belle Isle. I mean, is Belle Isle a track that it is conducive to your style of racing?
Yes, it is actually. It's I'd have to say it's one of the most technical street courses that we race on, and they've extended it now. So this year it's going to be better racing, easier to pass, and we get to race 2 times, not just the Sunday Grand Prix, but you actually have to race on Saturday as well. Full race, and that's going to make it very tough physically, but I think it'll be pretty cool for the fans.
How does it help you if you race it twice?
Doesn't help
I can't say, but
it doesn't help you.
It doesn't help you.
Well, it does count for full points both days, so you can have a massive weekend of earning points. You could, there's a potential about 110 points up for grabs over the whole weekend, which is massive. I mean, it's you could almost make or break your season, I think, with these double-header races.
Yeah, now, all joke aside, actually, the fans are going to be benefiting from that because they can watch, they can buy one ticket and see 2 races, right. Saturday and Sunday. By the way, you can buy the tickets on DetroitGP.com. Nice. So it's a pretty good, and I'm excited. I'm excited to be back again. Interesting weather out there, by the way. But
would you like to drive in this kind of stuff?
The good news is Charles and Merrill are our guys that are taking care of us right now. So, but in the end of the day, we're excited to be here. We're going to be here at the Detroit Auto Show from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. If you guys want to chat, autographs, take pictures, especially with Will Power. Oh, what a name, Will Power.
It's an awesome name.
Come on,
you know
man.
what? You know what? It transcends all sports. I mean, if you were Will Power, you're in the batter's box. That's who you want, right? If you're Will Power, you're a fullback in football. That's who you want carrying the football.
You can be a football, tennis player.
And also, I mean, even if you smoke, Will Power, that's what you want.
If you smoke, if you're a porn actor or something,
that would
that's
work
everything.
Too. Yeah,
it works.
Porn actor.
Just made his eyes bug out a little bit.
He was like, hello.
Hey, now, does this hold a special place for you because 2000 was that big win for you?
Yes, I'm biased to talk about it. But to be honest, having my first win ever in Indy Car here in Detroit, for Roger Penske and in the city of Detroit. And, it's very special. So really looking forward to come back. By the way, they did a great job in fixing the track. Last year we have some issues, but all the organization and when they want to make it happen, the track changed a little bit now, extend like Will just said it. It's a little bit longer the straightaway. I tell you, from June 1st, 2nd are the races. You guys right after Indy 500, by the way, which is great. So we're really excited to be here.
Will had talked about the conditioning aspect.
Yep.
How do you guys prepare for an IndyCar racing season? When we see the 4 major sports in this town, we see these guys lifting weights, we see them throwing through. How do you guys prepare for the rigors of an IndyCar racing season?
For us, it's the one thing is tough because we don't drive every day like those guys. They're practicing, going to the facility and practice every day. For us, it's a little bit tough because we don't do that. So we kind of like trying to do a lot of physical circuit training, for example, lifting weights. But you can gain muscle because otherwise muscle it's weight on the race car, and weight on the race car does not translate well. So you got to be fit. And to be able to sustain about 2 hours, sometimes 3.5 hours of racing, and but in the same time be lean and fit. So that's you do a lot of jogging, and some drivers do triathlon, cycling, and I don't know. You will. Do you do some kind of thing? What do you do?
I don't have to exercise.
You don't have.
No.
Yeah,
you don't have to exercise at all. You've got the willpower.
I've got the
Here we go.
I've got the willpower to do it all.
I don't have to do anything. I mean.
What a guy.
I think he's still trying to get over your comment that, hey, if he were a porn star, he'd be a good man.
I was thinking about that.
I don't blame you.
He's thinking.
That's a bad thing. Will Power joining us here on Shep in the Morning. Looking forward to the Belle Isle and the IndyCar race there. I think I've always found it special because I was disappointed when it left Detroit. And I think Detroit is viewed as, the Motor City capital of the world, and I think we should have great pride in this. And I think bringing it back and making it better has allowed us to do that. But by fixing some of the issues on the track, what does it allow racers and maybe more importantly race fans to observe about this race?
Well, I agree with you about that coming back, but you got to remember, All America faced a tough time,
Sure.
And now having Chevrolet being one of the main sponsors, Quicken Loans, which in fact they're sponsoring the duel in Detroit. The things like that, people from the town, people from the area, it is being part of it. And that's great because when you have the community participating like that, it's just great to be back. And and that's why for us it's great. We want to come to a place where people welcome us. And Detroit, as you mentioned, is the moto town. You want to make sure that you be part of it, and it's great. It's just great to have every community plus the city as well being part of it, and it's great.
Here's what everybody asks me about if I talk to race car drivers. What about driving on the road itself? You guys, because you guys, you're turning it over 200 miles an hour, right? Okay?
Yeah, okay.
So when you're out on the road, when you're on the lodge, and we get some wackos driving on the lodge in 75, and I could be one of them once in a while, how do you guys take the everyday driving on your streets, on your highways?
Man, I drive like a grandma.
Do you
I
really?
just cruise.
I
I really do.
Yeah, I drive my Tahoe the same way, man. It's just relax and
obviously no one
do
can see
you
what I
guys
just
kind of
did,
laugh? Do you laugh at people who are constantly weaving in and out of traffic, not using their blinker, talking on their cell phone, doing the wacky things that they do?
flip them off,
Well,
these people.
We're finding out a lot about Will this morning. I
Yeah,
think. A lot about Will.
I do not use my Verizon phone in the car, but I tell you one thing.
I actually don't. I never ever call.
Yeah.
anyone
You
on the
never
phone.
talk on the
I
phone while
don't
you're driving?
ever. Yeah.
No, you're right. You shouldn't
just-
actually. This is not good. But
Give me something that we wouldn't know about race car driving the day of the race. When you guys are in there, I mean, communication is very important with your crew, right? And all the things that you guys practice. Okay, it's no different than practicing offensive or defensive plays in football. You guys practice pit stops and things of that nature. Give us something that maybe might surprise our audience about what happens on race day with you guys.
you really don't want to know.
I mean, like the conversations on the
I guess
radio.
no. What he's trying to ask or find out. I can't believe you're not
I
up
don't
this
know.
morning, aren't
What
you?
is it? I'm not.
I understand. Well, actually, what happened is we're focusing on what the plan is going to be of the day. What can we do? Sometimes whatever happens in practice, translate a little bit the next day. Okay, maybe if I change the spring, maybe if I lower the car, the temperature start looking because our cars are very sensitive to the temperature. So if it's the temperature is too hot, maybe I should add more downforce so that the car is going to be more have more grip on the racetrack. So those are the things that when you're going around the track, plus you are a little bit of a exciting, to get to the track, and if you get a little traffic, you start like, oh my goodness, I can't be late. It's like
Gonna miss a driver's meeting. Gonna
correct.
Be put to the back.
There is a lot of thing going on before the races start.
What is when you guys have gotten in an accident? What's the first thing that goes through your mind without saying?
Like, who was it? Who hit me?
That's the first thing.
Because I'm gonna get out there and hit them.
Right, exactly. There is a little retribution you want to feel,
No,
right?
there is. Oh yeah, if someone takes you out and you're in a great position at the end of the race.
Right.
My God.
Is that the hardest? I mean, the hardest lesson to learn, maybe?
We have an experience here with Charles. Charles used to be the head of security in Indy Car, and now he's the head of security of here in Detroit. Belle Isle.
Don't mess with Charles, is what
No,
you're
you
saying.
don't. That's exactly. You see how
this,
big
this,
he is.
This bloke, he tried
We had an incident. One of the races, they disqualified me the last lap of the race, and they took my win away. And I was actually, okay, well, we're just going to protest. It's fine. But suddenly, I don't know what happened, man. I just snapped. I just lost control. And
you don't seem like you'd lose your temper very often.
Yeah,
are you kidding?
Like a
pretty good.
gregarious kind of guy.
I'm pretty good, yeah. So
Okay.
I lost my cool, and Charles was there to protect me, and I ended up asking him, call that guy, the director, and that time was a director, and I was grabbing his shirt and screaming at him, saying, call that guy, but on TV it looks like I was arguing with him, which I wasn't.
Right.
That people still think this day I was arguing, but obviously you see the size of him, and,
you don't want to mess
he was
with
laughing. Actually, he's
I
like,
don't blame him.
really, do you really want to?
Why don't I just pick you up and carry you out like a briefcase? Are you guys sports fans? Do you follow? If you're not racing, are you following other racers? And if you're not doing that, are there other sports that you're heavily involved in? Do you enjoy watching anything else?
I enjoy watching UFC. I think that's pretty cool. It's unbelievable.
Right.
Those
Soccer.
guys are phenomenal.
I'm sorry. You said the fighting. I'm sorry,
UFC,
the ultimate fighting.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. And we watch NASCAR, of course.
Yeah.
Do you watch NASCAR?
Our team has. Our
What's
team
the
won
biggest
the championship.
What is the biggest difference? Yeah, Roger Penske with that championship.
Yep.
What is the biggest difference between, do you guys think, NASCAR and the Indy Car series? I mean, racing wise.
I mean, the cars weigh 3 times more than NASCAR. And obviously they predominantly do ovals,
right?
Where we
so it's constant
the
left
style is different because it's you're approaching the corner so much slower than what we approach. They're approaching about 200 miles an hour. We'll go over 220 miles an hour.
Wow.
Which is 20 miles an hour. Sometimes people say, that's not much, but it makes a big difference. The tires are different. There is so much.
Have you guys ever done the NASCAR bit?
I never.
Have you ever wanted to?
Yeah. I would love to.
It's always nice to try different opportunities. It's not that.
It's interesting.
Some people sometimes, but why? I mean, it's just different. It's sometimes maybe we go out there and well, maybe we don't like it, or maybe like, this is awesome. So we don't know. But certainly opportunities are sometimes there for you to try, and if you like it, good. Plus the accent is very different. I'm from Brazil. This guy's from Australia, so
I think that's really interesting because I think you guys have great respect for them and they for you because of what you guys have to do. And I think as you get ready for races, I think you guys do have a game plan.
Yeah.
People forget that. There is a blueprint. You go out there, you manage things with your team on how you want to approach a race.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, there is a game plan.
Massive strategy.
So what's the massive strategy, without giving too much away, on Belle Isle as you get ready for the Detroit Grand Prix? And I know it's a ways to go, and there'll be other races before it. How do you get ready for it? Do you envision what you're doing?
It depends. Depends on the scenario. Depends where you started. You can't just say like, okay, now I'm preparing a strategy for Detroit race. Well, that it's a tough track, so you need to qualify well, so that it's the possibility for you to be in front. It's much higher. That's one strategy. But plus, they're changing a little bit of they're adding more laps or taking less laps. Depends how many laps you have that day. Now we're going to have 2 races. First race is a rolling start. Second race is standing start. So that's
here.
No, it's not.
All right, never mind. As you can see,
That's a different race.
You have fuel strategy.
You have,
fuel mileage. The track's longer this year. And you have 2 races where you actually have to think about tire strategy for both because they kind of roll over into each other. Because you don't get double the amount of tires now. So, and then you got 2 qualifying sessions. So you don't want to use up. You got to qualify well, but I want to save some good tires for the race too.
Don't want to give too much away.
It's kind of like so much strategy goes into it.
Yeah, and even that you have the plan, everything sorted out, a yellow flag comes in a different area.
Mess everything up.
Forget about that strategy.
Yeah.
You got to go to plan B or plan Z.
How much are your cars worth?
$1 million.
$1 million?
I reckon by the time it's all said and done, like an easy
I would've said
700. Easy
I thought it
700.
was half mil.
No, that's like if you get the.
You must have
chassis,
something that
a
I don't
loom,
have. What do you
engine,
have that I don't
you
have?
don't actually even own. Well, obviously I do have something,
You
and
do?
I'm not going to tell you.
Wow.
Okay.
My car is worth $1 million, pal.
I'm
That's
calling
a lot of money,
RP
man.
right now.
No, so
Hold on.
That's
when
what
you
it's
wreck
Let me
it,
put
when
my
you
Verizon
wreck
phone
it, that's
here.
just got to
Like
be.
a wreck
gotta
is like
tear you
just
up.
like blow an engine. Like a wreck is, a good. It's always going to be like a minimum 100,000 when you wreck. Like it is
All right,
always.
so at home, in your garage, I don't know how many cars you have. What kind of cars do you drive?
I'm not one to buy fancy cars. I have a Chevy Tahoe that I drive around right now,
Okay.
and I have a bunch of other cars just from
Depends on the mood.
from previous years of racing. So that's good. What is that?
I'm
strange
calling-
sound?
I'm calling-
Merrill.
Helios
I'm
calling
calling
somebody.
RP right now to find out what do you have that I don't have.
I want to know why is my car
I was
not
like,
worth
why
as much as Will
mine is not
Powers?
worth it?
So Will's got a
yes,
Tahoe. You had mentioned
If
that you have an SUV too, Helio.
Yeah, I got a
assume.
Tahoe. That's the beauty of being sponsored by Chevy. You know, they do build fantastic cars. Now I have a little girl. That the car you can
Congratulations.
thank
That's
you.
great.
She's 3, and it's
awesome.
great because you can put a lot of stuff on the car and go around. So
Well, we're glad you guys are here in Detroit, and I know you're going to be down at the auto show today signing
Yes.
autographs at the Channel 7 booth, WXYZ, later on this afternoon. We invite people to go down there, get to know you like we've had a chance to get to know you. We look forward to seeing you at the Detroit Grand Prix on Belle Isle this summer as well. Thanks for stopping by, fellas.
hey, thank you for
And you know
having
what?
us.
Be safe out there.
That's
Because
the main-
those
That's the main
roadways,
thing.
listen, it's nasty out there. In Michigan, see, we get this snow. I know how to drive in it. I don't know why it surprises people. You'll find as you take off and you're headed downtown, you're down the lodge, there's a lot of people who just freak out as soon as the snow starts to fall. For some reason or another, they forget how to drive.
It's like in
So if you
Florida
need to
when
take
it
over
rains.
if you need to take over the wheel from Charles, feel free.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Good luck
Charles.
with
You got
everything.
that? Thanks, guys.
All right,
you.
Helio Castroneves, Will Power here on Shep in the Morning. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the NFL, the latest mock draft, and who the Lions